Hi, Mrs. Brislin here again, and I'm here to explain how to do the activity. First, you want to answer the inquiry question. So how often do African penguins use land versus water in their habitat? So I'm going to project what you think might happen and why you think that might happen. All right, so I'll put in the video here when we're done. And then also just go through some vocabulary and ethnograms, a catalog of typical species-specific behaviors. And the study of animal behaviors is called ethology. So we're going to click on the Georgia Aquarium here. We'll look at the African penguin exhibit. And then you want to print the data sheet. It looks like this. And so we have it in front of us. When we're done, we're going to take our data and put it, we're going to submit our information back into Google Sheets, and then we will link our document in this area. And then also we're going to create a pie chart, and we'll copy paste that, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's go over to the Georgia Aquarium. Here I am, and I'm going to do full screen. And here we are. So I'm gonna, I have my timer here set for 30 seconds. We're gonna do this for 10 minutes. So every 30 seconds, we'll be determining whether they're on land or water. Please do read the top of the ethogram, and so you can determine what is on land, what defines a penguin on land versus in the water. I'm gonna go ahead and start just for time's sake. So I'm gonna be running the timer as I talk. So if you look at your data sheet, you'll see every 30 seconds, you'll be collecting your data. On the right-hand side, there are notes. So please add any notes. So for instance, if keepers come into the enclosure, or the webcam could move, and maybe a lot of times this webcam likes to view nesting pairs, not for very long, but you might want to note that over on the right-hand side there, because that could skew your data. Okay. My timer is going off. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to pause my webcam. So this is a really nice webcam. You can pause it. So I'm going to count my penguins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Looks like there's 17 in view, and there are none in the water. And that's all right. So I'm going to go ahead and start the video again. And I'm going to go to 30 seconds, and then I'll wait for the next one. All right, so I like to kind of watch them in between intervals so I can see if any of them have jumped in the water or they've moved around out of view. If they're out of view, I will not count them. The directions to this study are at the bottom of your data sheet, so take a look at that. It might be helpful. And also, we are going to be using relative frequency to determine the percentages. And I'll show you in just a second once we do a couple of observations. Okay, there's my timer. I'm going to stop again. And I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, so 16. And I got none in the water, and that's all right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play again and start the clock. And so this webcam is really nice that we can pause, because this can be really difficult. If you're out in the field, you can imagine they're moving around, they're in the water, they're on land. So it can be quite a challenge to be in the field and be making observations. There is a real thing called observer fatigue, and that can skew your data. So it's really important that they follow protocol and definitely follow the ethogram. All right, I'm going to stop right there. There it is. I'm going to pause. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 again, and none in the water. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop right here. You get the idea. You want to continue on with your data. And I'm going to show you a study that I did earlier. So here's my African penguin study that I did earlier. And I had about 12 roughly in view. I have notes over here. You can pause this and take a look and read the notes, what was going on. But I want to show you how to gather the data. So I'm completely done with my study, and I need to find out my totals. So in Google Sheets, a little bit different than Google or than Excel, but pretty much do the same thing. Sometimes for me, I can get a little bit lost, but I think I got it. So I just hit equal or sum, and I grabbed all of the column for rocks and land, and then I do the same thing for water. So I'm going to go over to sum again, sum, and I'm going to grab everything from this column, and then I hit enter. So I have 204 animals that were found on land for each one of my studies and 13. So what is my total amount of observation or behaviors really? So I'm going to add them up and just see what they are. So I'm going to hit equal, and I'm going to take this cell and I'm going to hit plus, and then I'm going to add this. This is D20, D21 cell. No, I'm sorry, D28 cell. Enter. Sometimes it's just really good to take a look and make sure you're hitting the right cells. It just count the column and then the row. All right, so 217 behaviors total. So I want to figure out the percentages. So I'm going to, and it explains down here what to do. I'm going to do an equal sign. And I have 204 behaviors on land, and I'm going to divide that, hit a slash mark, by my total behavior. So that's 217. And then because I'm doing percents, I'm going to multiply. So hit the star and I multiply that by 100. That gives me my percent. If I don't want to multiply by 100, I can go up and format the cell to show it's in percent. But I'm going to leave it the way it is. And I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. So equal. And I have a total of 13 water, and I'm going to divide that by 217. And then I'm going to multiply by 100 to get percent. Enter. And I'm going to make sure that it adds up to 100. I can eyeball it, but sometimes I get some weird percentages and it can be a little bit hard to tell. So I'm going to make sure that if I am doing percentages, especially if I'm making a pie chart, everything must equal 100. So I'm going to take this cell and I'm going to add it with my next percentage, my water cell, and enter. And that is 100%. So it looks pretty good. It's like I'm ready to go. I'll delete this when I'm all done here before I submit. So I'm going to go ahead and start the graph. I'm doing a pie chart. So I'm up here, I clicked on chart. I'm gonna make sure that I am doing a pie chart. I'm gonna pull this out. They got some interesting things here. I'm gonna move my video over to the side and I'm gonna see, I got it. This got a lot of weird percentages. I wanna know what's going on here. So I'm gonna do my data range. My data range is 29. So I'm gonna go C29, C29. I'm going to do a colon, and then I'm going to do D29. That should give me my percents, and I'm going to click off some of these other columns. There we go. So here I go. I got my 6% in water. This is kind of interesting. Gives me a title. So sometimes a lot of these things will automatically come up. If not, you can always add them. I'm okay with it right now. Again, if I click out, you're like, oh no, I can't get back into my chart. So just click on the chart, and they have these little stacked dots, and you just hit edit chart. So what I want to do though, I want to click up here, and I'm going to write what this is. So my 6% is my water, and over here, down here is my 94%, and that is my land slash box. And I don't like the color because it really should be the opposite. So I'm going to click on this little piece, and you can see it kind of raises out just a little bit. It can be a little tricky. I double click on it or right click, or it even shows up here. But if I right click, I can go ahead and go format pie slice. I'm going to make that blue. And I'm going to come over here and get rid of this color for land. I'm going to right click, or again, I can come over here to the chart editor. I'm going to go to pie slice, and I'm going to make that like a maroon color. No. I make that a brown, I think. There we go. All right, so there we go. So I'm feeling pretty good about this chart. You can see definitely they used land and rocks a lot more than the water, but we are showing that they are using both. And so it's really important, because if these African penguins didn't use land at all for then the water quality really wouldn't be an issue, or the amount of prey. Remember, African penguins do use and water to cool themselves down, even besides capturing prey. All right, so I need to copy and paste my chart. So I'm going to take a copy of my chart, just went on those little dots. I'm going to go over to my handout, and I'm going to click and insert here. So I would like to paste. And it's going to ask me, paste chart, do you want to just do the link? But no, I want the actual picture. So I'm going to click paste unlinked, and there it is. And then don't forget, before or somewhere before or after, you want to attach your actual data sheet. So you go over here, and again, you can create a link. So I'm going to copy this link. Yours will look a little bit different. I'm working in some other G Suites here. So Then I go here, I want to go Control V. Or I can even do, just make sure that it's hyperlinked. I'll get rid of that one. Really like how that's coming in. All right, so there's my link to my data sheet. Do make sure that it is shareable, okay? So that anyone that has the link is able to view it. You don't need to have edits or even comments. We'll just be viewing that. Maybe your teacher might change their mind, so be sure to be listening or reading all the directions. So after you're done with your study, you're going to go back to the focus question and you are going to see if you want to change anything. You might find after what you've just experienced, so the videos, the background, and your study, you might want to change the answer to your focus question. Okay, and that's it. Thank you.